Hello, and first off I want to thank you for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content. Now, in this video I want to talk about the idea of detaching from the present. Okay, and this idea came about to me because of a certain situation that I recently experienced. Okay, now this situation happened while I was building funds for my business. Now, some people may refer to that as work or their job or their 9 to 5. I refer to it as the place where I build my funds for my business, for my goals, for my dreams, okay? So at this place, I am doing the functions that are necessary. I'm doing the functions that are necessary for the objective, okay? I'm always careful with my wording because, to me, in my opinion, words create your reality. So I'm very careful with my wording. So that's why I'm speaking like that, if you were wondering. So at this place, like I said, I digress. Like I said, at this place, as I am doing the functions that are necessary for the objective, there's this person that comes out of their way, okay? They stop their job functions and they come out of their way to ask me a question, okay? And, the question is, why have you not entered in your information in the computer? Now let me give you a little background information. Usually with the objective that is at hand, you would enter in some information into the computer before you start that objective to let the computer know that you have started that objective, so that it is visible to people that are there at the place that you are working on that objective. However, it is not mandatory. It is not necessary for you to enter in your information on the computer right away. I usually enter in my information at the end of my time of being there. So that way I have everything wrapped up the way I need to, and I know everything that I need to have, and it's right there, and I do it quickly. And it's a one-time thing. So it's not really necessary for you to do it at any specific point. However, this person made it a point to, like I said, come out of their way to come over to me to bring up the issue of, or not bring up the issue, it was their issue, their personal issue, but to ask me the question of why did I not enter in my information. Okay, something prior had happened between me and this individual, where this individual asked me a question, okay, and I did not answer the question. I did not respond to the question. I was just sitting there, okay. I believe I'll talk about that in another video. Just stay tuned. Okay, but so yes, so this is the second time this individual approached me, okay, and once again, I didn't give a response. I didn't give the response that the individual was looking for. I'll say that. I didn't give the response that the individual was looking for. I pretty much brushed the individual off and continued to do the objective that was at hand. I continued to do the task that was at hand. Now, I'm going to fast forward through this because that's pretty much the incident. The person came. They asked a question. I didn't respond. I pretty much just looked at them, and then I continued to do my work, or continued to do the objective. Okay. Now, this person, there is a possibility that this person can report me for my behavior that is a possibility. Now, in the moment, I was, like I said, not responding, just continuing to do what I was doing. When I was on my way home, I was thinking about the situation still. I was thinking about the situation, thinking like, if they could report me, what would be the outcomes? What would be the result if they did report me for that? I was just thinking about that on the way home. And then when I got home, actually, I want to say the next day. So I was just sitting down, and the next day, the idea came to me. And this idea was detach from the present. Now, I'll explain what that looks like to me. I'll explain how I envisioned that idea. The idea just came to me. Detach from the present. Now, to me, I was taking that as detach from this present moment, because this present moment is only a part of the full process anyway. If you don't detach from this present moment and you stay attached to the present moment, you may get stuck in the present. You may get stuck here. Okay, now, if follow me, I just want you guys to kind of stay with me here. Okay, so I know there's a lot of sayings out there, a lot of things, people saying, stay in the present, different things like that. And I would say, those may be fair. However, I feel like with this idea that came to me, I feel like there are times when you do have to be in the present and you do have to be fully involved. And then there are times where certain situations are just not important, and you have to just detach yourself from the situation, let the situation occur, let it happen, and then let it pass by you, and you continue to move on along your journey. So I'll break down what that looks like. Okay, so when I was there and when it happened, when the individual approached me, okay, detaching from the present moment to me looks similar to what I did. So the individual asked me a question, okay? Detaching from that present moment to me was, okay, number one is how important is this right now? Is this question of the utmost importance right now? Is it an urgent question? Okay. In my opinion, no, it was not. The question was not important at all. The matter was not important. The situation was not important at all. Was not important enough for me to give a response. It was not important enough for me to involve my feelings, involve my energy, involve my time into that situation. So detaching from the present moment for me in that time was simply just being quiet, allowing the individual to express whatever they wanted to express, and then let the situation progress. Okay, now that was my opinion of detaching from the present, and I somewhat did that to a certain extent. Now, looking at it from different perspectives, may see it as, wow, Q, that was really mean, or that was a jerk move. You could have just answered, and different things like that. But I feel like there are certain things, like with this idea that came to me, there are certain things along your journey, your path, that you choose to either give energy to or not give energy to. And at that time, I just wasn't giving energy to that. So now I'm going to go on a broader spectrum, okay? The outcome of what could possibly happen, okay? The results. So now, detaching from the present, I got the idea. Detach from the present. Detach from the present. So to me, that meant, don't worry about the outcome. Whatever outcome happens, don't worry about the outcome, because that was only a portion of your journey. Doesn't mean you're going to be there forever. So because you're not going to be there forever, it makes no sense for you to continue to pour unnecessary energy into that small situation. I mean, now that I think back on it, it was a very small situation. And whatever happens with that situation happens. However, I'm not going to pour any energy into that. What I'm pouring my energy into is this right here, because this is so much more important than that energy. So I hope that ties into what I'm saying as far as detaching from the present moment. So the energy that I could have used there, I'm using here now. So I detach from that present moment, and now I'm using that energy here, attaching that energy here to this present moment. Okay, something that is way more important to me. So, yes, that feeling was just like, don't worry about the outcome. Whatever the outcome is, whatever the result is, whatever happens from that situation, it was only a portion of the journey. Now, I have more of my journey to go through. I have more of my journey to experience. That was only, let's say, a rest area. If you're making a long drive somewhere and you stop at a rest area, that was only a rest area. And when you're at a rest area, most of the times, what are you doing at a rest area? You're either using the bathroom or you may be sleeping. And when you sleep, you're detaching from that present moment. In my eyes, when you're sleeping, you're detaching from you're detaching from your destination, not from your destination, but from your trip. When you rest at a rest area, you're detaching from your travels. So you're stopping your travels. You're putting your travels on hold. You're putting your energy on hold to rest. Okay, then you recuperate, get back on the road, and you continue to drive. So that, I feel like that was a similar idea of detaching from the present, and that was a real life example of how I used it, or how I believe that I used it and applied it. Now, you know what I'm going to say. I would love to hear from you. You know it was coming. Of course, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever had any situations where you had to detach from the present moment? Maybe you've done it. Maybe you've detached yourself from the present moment, but you've never just heard it termed that way. Let me say that correctly. Maybe you've never heard it put in those terms. There we go. Maybe you've never heard it put in those terms, the terminology of detach from the present, or maybe you have, or maybe you've been thinking about that idea of detaching from the present moment. And that can go with so many things. That can go with relationships. That can go with school. That can go with interacting with people. It can go with so many different things, just detaching from the present moment. But I definitely want to hear what you all think about that. So with that being said, I want to thank you for watching, and I'm sending positive vibes your way.